Hey everyone, it's Blake. Welcome in to episode number 7 of our WWF 1992 Save in TEW 2020. This is Superstars of Wrestling for January Week 4, and we are now officially on the road to WrestleMania. We did the Royal Rumble. Hope you guys enjoyed that one coming out of it. And now we have another actually pretty important show coming up after this one because we have Saturday night's main event for January Week 4, so a quick turnaround after the Rumble. But as you'll see, this will not necessarily be a pay-per-view type show, but again, we try to work around the limitations of what we can do in TEW with this kind of era. But as you'll see, it's going to be a show with some pretty big developments on Saturday night's main event, and we'll talk about what that means here in just a few minutes. But for now, let's jump into Superstars of Wrestling, as on the pre-show, Texas Tornado gets the win over Barry Horowitz. In 4:36, the Tornado Punch does it, 40 for that one, so Tornado got the win over Repo Man at the Rumble, and ultimately, though, came up short in the Royal Rumble. But again, we'll kind of tie any of those eliminations into storylines, as you'll see on this show, if they were significant enough. But otherwise, sorry, guys just get thrown out, and there's maybe not a lot more to it than that. So, Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich gets the win on the pre-show. All right, another pre-show match. We had the Brooklyn Brawler as the road agent. We always forget to change that because any segment the Brawler's in is a bit of a problem because the segment does not do as well. So that's our own fault with that one. There are a lot of road agents in this particular save, and I always forget who we need to put and who we don't need to put, and it looks like we just left the Brawler on this one. So 47, so not only Brawler jobbing in reality in terms of the matches, but he's jobbing as a road agent here. 47, Tatanka gets the win over Kato. 6:35, the Indian Death Drop does it on that one. So just kind of another win here for Tatanka, building up some momentum for him on the pre-show. Now, we get into the main edition, and hopefully the Brooklyn Brawler not on this one, and he's not. So we start off here with an 82, and just to let you know, this is a Coliseum home video exclusive interview with Gene Okerlund and the winner of the 1992 Royal Rumble, Ric Flair. So this was right after the Rumble. We get some exclusive footage here as Gene is asking Ric Flair, his reaction to winning the 1992 Rumble, guaranteeing him a spot in the main event of WrestleMania 8. And before Gene starts to go on, because he's about to ask about Hulk Hogan, Flair says, "I'm going to stop you there, Gene, because I told everybody, I guaranteed you that I would win the Royal Rumble, and nobody believed me, and now you're going to be the first person to accuse me of having anything to do with what happened with Hulk Hogan. I came out number 1. Hogan came out number 2. He didn't make it to the ring. I did, and that's why I'm standing here as your next WWF champion." And so Flair just really pushing that he had nothing to do with this with Hogan, because all fingers are pointing towards Ric Flair right now when you consider that Flair seemed to be enjoying himself as he's watching Hogan get beat up by 5, 6, 7 guys, whatever it was, in the aisleway. Hogan does the stretcher job and all of that. So we just get kind of a celebratory interview here. Ric Flair winning the Rumble and also making it very clear he had nothing to do with Hulk Hogan's attack before the Rumble. So there you go, 82 for this one. Now we get some more footage here, as this one involves none other than the man who once banned reptiles from ringside, Jack Tunney. President Jack Tunney sitting at his desk, and an 86 here for this segment. He looks lost, but that's okay. Of course, we put Flair and Hogan in this one. So, Jack Tunney says, "I would like to update WWF fans on a couple of things." And he says that he will announce Ric Flair's opponent very soon, and, basically leaves it at that. He says he will be making a decision on who will face Ric Flair at WrestleMania 8. But he also says, "I have heard the comments from Mr. Flair. I have heard the comments from other wrestlers as well. And I would like to share an update on Hulk Hogan, who was stretchered out at the Royal Rumble. And the medical team has not yet revealed the extent of the injuries to Hulk Hogan, but we know that he is not currently clear to compete inside of a WWF ring at this time." And Tunney says, "But me and WWF officials have already begun an investigation into what led to the attack on Hulk Hogan before the WWF Royal Rumble match began on Sunday." And Tunney says he will be sharing further updates with World Wrestling Federation fans on the current state of Hulk Hogan. So there you go. Tunney's launching an investigation into what happened. Flair has denied any involvement in this whatsoever. So that's where we stand right now. But we also know that, as Tunney mentioned, Hogan not cleared to wrestle inside of a WWF ring right now. So 86, we'll find out what that means moving forward. All right, then we get a match here, the British Bulldog versus Rick Martell. I know this is not really kind of a jobber versus jobber, or mid-card versus jobber, but we kind of had to do this here as there's a reason, and we just got to have some matches. So this is one where we couldn't really use house show footage because if you think about it, Rumble's on Sunday. We were doing a house show on Monday. We gave our guys the day off, but back on Tuesday here for the taping, so we just kind of made this a new match. The Bulldog gets the win here via countout, and it's because Rick Martell intentionally gets himself counted out. So that's kind of the story here. Martell cheats his way out of this, and Bulldog gets the victory via countout. We'll follow up on the storyline development between these two moving forward, but for now, $750 for the match, $71. Pretty good main. Let's be honest, this is a great match for Superstars. This probably should have been our main event, in all honesty, but I don't think our main event's going to do as well. It'll probably be a bit of a mess, but nonetheless, we also get an interview here. This is a Coliseum home video exclusive as well. Shawn Moody was with the Mountie after his loss to Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship match we had at the Rumble. And Mountie, Mooney says, Mountie, we've heard that you're going to be in action at Saturday night's main event. And how are you going to respond from your loss here to Bret Hart? And Mountie just says he's tired of being disrespected. He said Bret Hart cheated. That's an illegal move that he locked on me. And he says that he wants some respect when he steps inside the ring at Saturday night's main event. So Mountie will be in action on that show, and we'll see what we have in store for the Mountie at Saturday night's main event. That's all I'll say. So there you go. Mountie's pissed off because he lost to Bret, and he will be in action on Saturday night's main event. It's 51 here for this one. All right, now we get another interview here. Very interesting one. Gene Okerlund is with Earthquake and Typhoon. Of course, Jimmy Hart's with him as well. And Gene says, I've got to ask the question. Everyone's trying to ask. Earthquake, I can see you're still not very happy. Typhoon eliminated you from the Royal Rumble. And so, as I said, we kind of bring out some of the story once we got here. But it was Typhoon who eliminated Earthquake from the 1992 Royal Rumble. And Gene just says, what were you thinking? That's your tag team partner. And Typhoon just says, Gene, I've apologized to the Quake here many times. But it's every man for himself. We were both trying to fight for that spot at the WrestleMania main event. And I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. And Earthquake's a little, he's starting to look at Typhoon here like, are you kidding me? And Earthquake starts to go off. He's like, you didn't have a choice. You saw who else was around us. You could have picked anybody to throw out, but you threw me over the top rope. And Earthquake's steaming here. Jimmy Hart's trying to get in the middle of them. And then we kind of have Gene doing his usual thing like, whoa, hang on a second, fellas. And they just keep kind of, going back and forth with each other as they walk off with Jimmy Hart trying to keep the peace here between Earthquake and Typhoon. So there you go. We find out Typhoon, the one who eliminated Earthquake in the Rumble. What does that mean? 69. Nice rating for this one. All right, now we get the Earthquake over Jim Powers. So this is kind of, all right, Earthquake's angry. He comes in and just splashes Jim Powers here. 310. Great chemistry between these two, which, by the way, I found this out on a Primetime Wrestling edition. I was like, we'll use it on this one, right? So a rematch here from Primetime Wrestling. But we can kind of say, hey, we're showing the footage from Primetime or a previous match that took place. Earthquake winning Jim Powers, beating Jim Powers, 310. The pinfall here, and we kind of see Earthquake not in a very happy mood based on what happened at the Rumble. So worth noting there. 58 for this one. All right, now, there once again, are you kidding me? I know I took the brawler off this one, but maybe I just did not save it before I did. Anyways, this hurts because we just would have got the brawler out of here. We gotta take the brawler out of the road agent list. I can't just forget to leave this guy on some of these, but it'll be all right. 49 for the segment. So again, Michaels was victorious at the Royal Rumble. He got the win against Coco Beware in singles action. So this is Mooney with his exclusive interview here with Shawn Michaels. But we're kind of leading into another match. Mooney kind of hypes up, Shawn, you got the victory over Coco Beware. Now you're going to get ready to face Owen Hart one-on-one in a match at Saturday night's main event. So this will be another match added to the card. Again, kind of just your simple heel promo here. Michaels going to show Owen that he's not just a tag team wrestler like Owen is. So, Michaels continuing to break away from the Rockers theme, trying to be the single star, and really pushing that he's not like Owen. He's not just going to be a tag team guy, right? He's going to show that he's the true star. And so, yeah, Michaels taking aim at Owen here. That sets up a fun match, right, for Saturday night's main event. 1992, Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart. So, 49, which could have been much better if not for the brawler. All right. Now we get to this one, Gene, with the Legion of Doom, and this is kind of a Coliseum home video exclusive here as well, as we get all of these, exclusive interviews. We're kind of just revealing them everywhere, right? You don't even buy the VHS at this point. But it's LOD. They got the win over the Beverly Brothers, and we'll see response from the Beverly Brothers here very soon. And I promise you're gonna get your genius poem. I've had some fun with that, but the LOD. Just kind of hyping up, their dominant streak here as tag team champions, and they're ready for their next opponents. Pretty simple, and we will find out soon enough who the tag team opponents will be for LOD, at WrestleMania. You'll find that out soon enough. All right, 64 for this one. And now we're going to get to Haku and the Barbarian against the Bushwackers here. So Haku and Barbarian do get the win over the Bushwackers, 726. Again, I hate the submissions. I know it was brought up in the comments. I've got to remember just to put pinfall in these because I'm like, we're not doing a submission here on Butch with the Asian spike. So it's fine. 58, but it is Haku and Barb getting the win here over this one. Now, why is this significant? Well, as we know, these two were part of the attack on Hogan when he came out and drew number 2 at the Rumble. And there are a couple guys who've not forgotten about it because they were there as well and came out to sort of try to make the save, and we had all the baby faces coming out to kind of, fight off these guys. So here comes Texas Tornado, Gary Von Erich, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan as they make their way out because Haku and Barbarian are going to do a little more work on the Bushwhackers here, but they make their way out. And so that is where we're at here. And it's worth noting that in the Royal Rumble match itself, it was the Barbarian who eliminated Texas Tornado, probably through some nefarious means, is my guess. But so we have Tornado and Duggan come out. Remember, again, they were there after the Hogan attack, which involved these two. So kind of playing this up. And you guys know this is going to lead to something, and you will get it at Saturday night's main event. Yeah, we know what we're leading towards. I don't have to point you in any other direction here. 59 for this one. All right, now we get an interview here, Gene Okerlund, with Ted DiBiase and IRS. And Gene just says, Ted DiBiase, you were up to something. You said you were going to get the best number that money can buy. Gene just really grilling him here. And he's like, and you come out at number 30. Something's up here, $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And DiBiase just says, Gene, you don't worry about anything. I'm not happy about losing the Royal Rumble. I told everyone I'd get the best number money could buy. But I also proved that money can buy anything. And you just remember that. And you also need to remember this, Bret Hart, because you threw me out at the Rumble, and you're probably feeling really good about yourself. But me and IRS are not done with you, Bret Hart, because like I said a minute ago, everyone's going to find out that money can buy anything, and everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. So, Ted DiBiase making it very clear he's not happy about losing, but he's saying that he did prove that money can buy anything. 67 for the segment. All right, now our main event. What a main event here. This was just a fun one I had to put together. Sid Justice versus Colonel Mustafa. So Sid in the Iron Sheik here. Gets a 60. Much better than I would have thought, to be honest with you. But Sid gets the win. Popularity certainly helps. 729, the powerbomb. So Sid powerbombs Colonel Mustafa here. The Sheik taking the powerbomb in 92. But, so Sid gets the win. And, again, we're just kind of playing this up as Sid's coming out of the Rumble. We know what happened there. The stuff involving who? Well, it was The Undertaker. And so after the match, what we have is Taker's not through. Remember, he was circling the ring, all this other stuff. These two guys were going at it after the eliminations at the Rumble. Taker comes in. He tries to chokeslam Sid. That ain't going to work. Then Sid tries to turn the tables and powerbomb The Undertaker. That ain't going to work either. And so eventually, these two guys try to hit their signature moves. Can't do it. And so we kind of have, once again, officials getting between Sid and The Undertaker, which has been a common theme now. And so that's where things stand on this. So, yeah, you guys know what we're up to here. But worth noting that Taker and Sid not finished with each other after the Rumble. 68 for this one. And now that's going to lead us into a great finish of the show, which ratings-wise we certainly needed. A 99 for the segment, and it is officially announced that at Saturday night's main event, we will get Randy Savage one-on-one with Jake the Snake Roberts. And we know that these two have wanted to destroy each other time and time again over the past many months now, and especially as we've started our save. And so it's officially announced that at Saturday night's main event, we will get the ultimate grudge match here. Randy Savage, Jake the Snake Roberts. We're going to get this match again. Let's just disregard the one we saw at this Tuesday in Texas, okay? We're, like we said, we kind of are starting in our own little alternate world here. Savage, Jake, Saturday night's main event. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be some big developments at that show. And we'll see what happens. But there you go. That is this edition of Superstars. We get the official announcements with the highlights of what happened at the end of the Rumble. We know Savage was eliminated by Flair. Flair won the Rumble via that after Jake threatened to go after Elizabeth and all of this. So 99 for this, and that's how we finish up this edition of Superstars. Gets a 78. We gain some popularity. We lose some popularity. It's okay. We figured out a formula that works pretty well now. And hey, I just had to do Sid versus Colonel Mustafa in the main event. A main event anywhere in the world we did on this edition of Superstars, which we were kind of at a disadvantage because like we did on the previous one, we can show like house show matches. We didn't really have any house shows between now and this particular show. So that's why we didn't go that route on this one. But that was Superstars of Wrestling. Let's see what we can get to before we wrap up. All right, so that was Superstars of Wrestling. Looks like Chono turning heel in New Japan. So significant there. But positive show. Again, we didn't quite hit the number we did the previous week, but we kind of know what we need to do now to play around the limitations of how we need to book and try to get somewhat close to what they did in this era. So let's look at our mail here. Looks like Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner gone from New Japan, so they were on a loan, so they're not available. If they were, I think we know they're on my short list. You guys know they're there for a reason. So drug testing fees, which certainly we needed in this era, but luckily nothing else. So a very lackluster mailbag there for us. But again, that was Superstars of Wrestling. As always, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Again, guys, I know these videos have been a little bit more sporadic recently, but as I said, this is kind of just a busy season for my job, and so I'm trying to get caught up on these and get back to doing the TCW save as well, and the Seaverse save. We're having a lot of fun with that. The WWE one, I know we're way behind in terms of WrestleMania 4, but I'm not gonna lie, like the WWE 2024 one, I'm so much more engaged now than I used to be. With kind of what WWE is doing in reality, I'm almost like, I don't even know if I can come close to what they're doing with some of this stuff. So, but nonetheless, this is a fun one. We're having a lot of fun with this 1992 save. And like I mentioned, we got a big show coming up next because on the next episode of our WWF 1992 save, it will be Saturday night's main event for January week 4.